Welcome to the weather forecast for the week beginning Wednesday, August 18th, 2021. I'm Chief Meteorologist John Ensworth for Longmont Public Media. We have a full moon Monday, August 21. Boy, August is starting to pass pretty quickly. Looking at drought. Last week we had seen significant relief in the western slopes and southwestern parts of the state. A little light drought up in the northeast plains. Going forward, we had a little lessening of the drought condition right along the northern Rockies near the Continental Divide. That's about it. Maybe a little worse out here in the northeast corner. Not significant changes in either direction, but a little shift. Looking nationally, as you go from last week to this week, it gets a little worse up north. Not much changes in the west. In fact, it's very similar from last week to this week this time. Things may be stabilizing. I don't know. We'll see. Looking at the precipitation, northeast didn't get much in that little corridor here, but out on the plains, spine of the Rockies, southeastern part of the state did get some good local rainfall totals. Still pretty spotty, as we are used to seeing in summer. So we start this forecast period with sort of a strange pattern. There's a giant ridge to the east of us, but there's a little embedded shortwave here with its own little circulation almost cut off. Then we have this giant trough that's changing everything. This hopefully will give us relief from heat and give us a relief from smoke, and at least for some parts of the state, especially the western slopes, some more rain. On Tuesday, we see the moisture kind of setting up, starting to flow into the southwest. I guess Phoenix has had multiple days of thunderstorms and heavy rain and even local flooding. You can see this trough coming in the northwestern part of the nation, and the moisture kind of wrapping around it. Stuff down here in the deep Gulf is heading off to the east. By Wednesday, we have a little tropical system out here. We have moisture, again, shunting off to the east. And then we have moisture returning from the Pacific and the western Gulf coming into the mountain west. We're still pretty dry on Wednesday. That's about to change, at least for a few days. Because by Thursday, that trough in the west is approaching. It's pushing in a cold front from the northwest, Pacific Northwest. And thunderstorms and rain are actually quite widespread. Thursday into Friday. So tropical system down here, tropical system here, remains of a tropical system here. We'll cover those at the end of the discussion. So let's take a look at smoke and see what this trough is going to do for us. You can see clearing coming in from the southwest. Definitely going to get a break. You're going to see blue skies. You're going to see the mountains again. That smoke is heading down off the west coast. We're getting cleaner air from the southwest and from Mexico, along with that moisture flow. So that's pretty nice. You see the circulation there in the end, swirling over Wyoming and northwestern Colorado. Taking a look at smoke at the surface, as we have heating occur in the day and clearing air aloft, the smoke at the surface rises and mixes. We get pretty low smoke levels. There's complete clear for the I-25 corridor north of Denver on the end of the week. So as this moisture comes in, as the trough approaches, Wednesday there's actually a slight chance of severe weather in Utah, marginal risk on the western slopes and up into Wyoming, and a chance for thunderstorms Wednesday afternoon. But for Thursday, the slight risk includes north suburbs of Denver, up to Fort Collins, Cheyenne, and up into Nebraska and South Dakota. Marginal risk is the entire northern half of Colorado. In the slight risk, the greatest chance of severe weather involves hail and locally damaging winds from thunderstorm downdrafts. So straight line winds. Going to Friday, that severe area moves off to the east as that trough comes in, but we still have a chance of some convection, some thunderstorms over most of northwestern 2/3 of the state. Our normal high temperature drops from 87 down to 85. Each 10-day window here, we're shaving off a little more of that expected heat. And we go from 58 to 55 for the expected low at night. Now, we're still in the low, even mid-90s as I record, so we are having another little end of summer heat wave. For the Thursday-Friday window, we can see the ensemble has a pretty good chance of rain and thunderstorms for Denver, which is close enough to Longmont to count. Beyond that, it gets pretty dry, little chance of showers coming in later next week, with temperatures cooling down with this passing trough and hopefully remaining in the normal range beyond that. So Sunday noon, here's Henry, with a big high pressure system now centered over Louisiana, and this trough is coming in, but it's kind of pulling out, losing some of its energy into the jet stream flow. We have overall troughiness in the west, though, with this high over here, the Bermuda high sitting out here over the Atlantic. So Henri, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, in this run of the GFS kind of gets close to scaring people in New England. You'll see the latest forecast doesn't support that close of a pass. But by Friday, the moisture that we need for rain and thunderstorms is now moved off to the east. So for the next 10 days, let's watch this big trough come in. We're on the correct side, southeast side of the trough for severe weather. As it digs through, it begins to fill. There's another trough behind it, brief ridging on Sunday. That trough passes to our north on Monday, so I'm not expecting much around here. Take a look at this big high. It's kind of inching backward to the west, sneaking from Louisiana now into New Mexico, and then reforms over Las Vegas for next week. So yeah, that ridge just loves to come back and anchor itself over the Rockies. Looking at temperatures, we have this cold pool moving across it. You can see how sharp that cold front is coming through at the end of the week and the weekend, spreading out onto the plains. Lots of abnormally cool temperatures in the west because of that system. As it pulls out and the ridge inches back towards Vegas, the heat reestablishes itself in the west. We do have another passing cold front maybe next week. Some thunderstorms in the afternoon, probably interacting with that, but we'll have to cover that next week. So we start out the period with lots of rich moisture over the Rockies. There's a tropical system spinning away down here. Then dry air comes in behind the front. By Saturday, we're really dry. See, the moisture is trying to return, surging up here around the high pressure system as it migrates to the west. But by Tuesday, Wednesday, finally establishes itself. But it takes much of a week for that moisture to make it back into Colorado. So thunderstorms going into Thursday into Friday. You can see the western slopes are favored. That low out here kind of has a dry slot over southern and southeastern Colorado. Clears out for the weekend. So our tropical systems sort of making landfall. So that moisture and energy goes all the way across Mexico to the Pacific. Tuesday into Wednesday. A little bit of stuff forms south of us, and it's not until Wednesday night, Thursday, that we get some thunderstorms on the eastern plains again. So over the next 2 days, as this first storm comes through, you can see the drought-stricken area get some water. That's great. The southeastern part of the state where the low tracks, not so much. Over the next 5 days, we don't get much more. Add 10 days in, bring whatever systems come in next week, and the west gets more rain, the plains get a little touch. So looking out for the next week, we start out really hot in the mid-90s. Cold front comes through ahead of the trough. Thursday we drop into low 80s. Friday we might even only hang around the 70s. That is possible. Climb back to a very comfortable 80s for the weekend, and see 90s return as the ridge comes back towards Las Vegas early next week. Our best chance of rain is here at the end of the week, Thursday and Friday. So let's take a look at these storms that are out here. Tropical storm Henri is wandering around, it's predicted to be a hurricane by Friday and Saturday into the next week. And the latest forecast here has it a little more significantly east of the continental U.S. Down here we have Hurricane Grace crossing the Yucatan Peninsula, being downgraded to a tropical storm, and then back to hurricane strength here in the southern Gulf before hitting Mexico and crossing just as a tropical depression beyond that. The remains of Fred made landfall in Florida a couple days ago or a day ago, are falling apart and fading out as a tropical depression in West Virginia by Wednesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday. Taking a look at Hurricane Linda. This is out by Hawaii. It's passing north of the islands. It's a hurricane at the beginning here with winds at 100 miles per hour, and as it goes over colder water, it'll drop down a tropical storm and a tropical depression near the islands. For local news, stories, and frequent weather updates, check out the Longmont Leader, where my weather column is. This has been Chief Meteorologist John Ensworth. Keep looking up.